Hello Overseers, last episode we expanded to the desert island, set up glass and copper processing and built a new production hub. Now it's time to refine our operations. We're finishing our assembler, launching a concrete operation with digger ants and optimizing our main island's production flow. Plus we're testing a brand new drone path to transport Energy Orbs Mk2s. Will these changes push our colony to the next level? Let's dive in and see. So we're still on our second island waiting for fabric to be delivered so that our assembler can be completed and we can create some miner ants. While that's happening, let's just check in on all our operations in our old base to make sure everything's happening okay. You can see our queen is being pretty much continually fed almost, and we're maintaining stage 9 at the moment with energy pod 1s. Our lava looks pretty okay. We've got 4 hatching and some excess lava being sent to the second island. Not that we need more ants on the second island quite yet. All our paths are pretty full, so our ants are going okay. Our surplus of ants isn't that high, so we're creating just the right amount of ants. In terms of making stuff, it's a little bit concerning because we're not making too many screws. Now that's because we don't have enough ants on the screw line. Interesting. So we might need to do some revamping over here. Let's figure out how we can do that. Well, first of all, I do see a lot of ants out of this trail that's currently just being turned into plant cutting, and we can see our plant cutting line is massive and full and we don't need that many plant cutters. So maybe we should direct some ants over to this side to help out. So if we just pause the game for a second, given the fact that our screws are really lacking at the moment, we probably shouldn't keep doing this process, which is super inefficient. We are currently sending all the old ants out of this path over here to be turned into small digger ants. Now, being turned into small digger ants is all well and good, but they cost screws, and we probably don't want all of them to become small digger ants. We also have too many ants over here that are becoming regular big ants, and we're not really helping them out in any sort of way. So we can sort of tune and optimize this a little bit better. What I mean by that is, instead of this, we can maybe make a combiner and split this trail a little bit. The digger ants that we want only need to be digging. We've got heaps of digger ants over here doing stuff as well. So maybe we should stop this process where we turn all our ants into digger ants, because we're burning through all our screws too quickly. And we don't need to be doing that. So fixing this is not super simple, but here's our digger ants coming out into this trail, and they're going to do all these tasks, right? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ants on this trail doing stuff. So maybe we should just take the old ants out of here and get them to do stuff. There's going to be a huge surplus of old ants over here. So what we should do is something like this. Let's move this digger ant thing. I'm going to move it like here, for example. Alright, with the digger ant thing over here, I don't think I want this digger ant creation anymore, because this one's creating a huge surplus of digger ants as well. So I'm just going to move some stuff around. Let's in fact just delete this one entirely. And then let's get rid of these trails. We'll get rid of that. Now we're going to put some counter gates over here to sort out the digger ants and get them to go where I want them to go. Maybe we'll move this back a little bit more. Give it a little bit of room for the counter gates. So I'll put a bunch of counter gates here. At the moment, I just need 2. We need 1 for this trail over here. That has 3 ants on it. So we'll just put maybe like 4 digger ants on this trail. And on this trail, we've got 4 things. So maybe we'll just put like 6 digger ants. And there can be a little bit of queuing to speed things up on the trail. Then we will get a null trail coming out of here. And then it can pick one of these 2 trails. We'll give it a little bit of a buffer so we can see if there's any excess. Now we'll send 1 trail out this way to go here and 1 trail up that way. So get rid of this trail. And we can get rid of this trail for now. We might move this operation because it's a little bit out of the way. In the way, sorry. So we can get rid of this whole thing. I wish you can move the trail with this stuff. I'm just going to move the concrete production just completely out of the way for now. We can reclaim some of this iron foundation. We don't need it. Get rid of this old trail. We will redo this line If you're enjoying the video and you want to support Data Engineer Plays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comment section. Now this first trail is going to go into this digger trail. This second trail is going to go up into this digger trail, something like that. This can go away now. Now we've got diggers only digging because my big mistake was just using diggers for other purposes, right? We shouldn't be doing that. Fantastic. Now we should be making new digger ants, but from where are we going to get our new digger ants? Now we know that one trail's worth of stuff is definitely enough to supply all the digger ants in the world. So let's rehook up this old elder trail over here to get the old guys from here to become digger ants. Now we're probably going to have too many digger ants. So that also begs the question now, what are we going to do with the digger ants from, well, the old ants from this trail? So we can combine them into another trail and get them to do all the operations like concrete and stuff like that, right? That makes a lot of sense. Why is this glowing? So we should make a combiner this time. So we'll get a combiner going over here. And we'll get an elder trail that's coming from here over here. Now we also know that this is too much. Like we've got way too many ants on this trail doing absolutely nothing because we have so much fiber and we've got so much fabric that we don't need any more ants on here. So we should divide the old ants somewhere and get them to go over there partially. Probably smarter to put the divider a little bit closer. Let's just do it right here. Something like that. It's a little bit messy having the trails cross one another, but this is the closest path. And then we can get an elder trail going like that. There we go. Now we're going to have less ants going down this path, which is great because we've got way too many ants going down that path. They're going to be going here and we're going to have a lot, far fewer digger ants everywhere. I'm going to take the digger ants that I currently have and put them on the path. Now, when they come out of here with regular worker ants, we can send them off onto these paths. So we can put that down there like this. And they can do loop-de-loops like this if we can see if there's a buffer of ants over here. Now, the final thing that we're missing is the concrete production. So let's get that going again. I kind of want to see if I can make a more optimized version of this build because multiple dispensers are great. Let's try to make a version without multiple dispensers. So say I've got a couple of things over here. And dividers we know work great for sending ants over. So what if we did something very simple and we did like a divider that goes to each of these? Then what if we put our singular dispenser on the actual divider? No, because then there's no hauling trail. A divider is not a hauling trail, right? Let me just try it. So we need a hauling trail to go into the divider. So they're going to grab a thing, go into there. And it doesn't matter which one they go into. And once they have their thing, they can directly come back up and go to storage and then back into there. Is that like a little bit faster? I mean, it's basically the same trail as before. And then they can store this thing, but we don't need dispensers on each line anymore. We can just put one singular dispenser. That should be the same distance as before, I guess. Let's put that over this side so we can more clearly see where they should enter. So we need another counter gate over here and we want 2 ants on this trail and then we want that null trail going down this way and into there to do concrete. So now we have all the right ants doing the right things, hopefully. Let's play and see if that works out better for us. So all our worker ants are now going to the appropriate things and we should be making a lot less because this is the smallest trail, so they should have the least amount of ants on there. In fact, the ants that are currently on there are already too many. So let's get maybe like 1 less. Let's see if 4 ants can handle that trail. Fantastic. This trail, we've got so much food. And we are, feeding the queen the fastest that we can feed them. And we're getting 15 larvae per minute. All right. Now, let's have a look at this trail. I know there's going to be a little bit of struggle street while this thing teethes. So I might take some of the ants over here and get them to help out. So we'll get them to drop their thing and then maybe go over there and help. We just get them onto this trail to fill in these things while we wait. That should optimize our ant usage a lot more. Now, fiber forest is being cut down, so we don't have infinite time before we need to sort out our third island. So let's shift focus back to this island. We have 11 out of our 77 fabric. And what are we trying to do again? We're trying to build a recycler. And we're also trying to hit that next island. Let's figure out what it takes to hit the next island. I don't know what those are, but we do know what Energy Orbs 2 are. So Energy Orb 2, I just realized, come from these trees. So we need to get them back to our old island to feed the queen somehow. And I don't really know how to do that, given there's no fabric on this island. It's a little bit weird. I mean, we can definitely fly them back, but wouldn't that be super slow? So I think we definitely need this bridge. So we need this small bridge, and to do small bridge, we need to build a concrete monument on 3 islands. And to do that, we need to build a concrete monument on this island. And to build the concrete monument on this island, we need to start mining concrete. So let's set up our concrete trail over here. So this is where my digger ants are coming out of, and we want them to do concrete and glass and potentially copper at some point. So we will start doing stuff here. Let's set up a digger trail. Maybe just like 3 will do for now. Now we don't need counter gates, but we just get a divider at some point to get onto each one of these digger trails. Then we will have a return trail when you have items. Oh, that's so annoying. You can do something like that. There's our trail for mining the concrete. We need to set up a stockpile, something like that. And then we need to get the ants from here into here. So we need a set of gates, like counter gates. So we'll just do 1 for now. Get a null trail going out of here. And then that can go down into here and then into various other counter gates. And then loop back up, that's fine. Then we'll get a null trail from here, and then we'll get it going up over here into this thing. And that should get us concrete on the island. At some point we need to get the concrete smelted, so let's set up the smelting while we're waiting for this. Let's just pick somewhere in the corner out of the way. Oh, but we still need it to come from here, so we can't be like 2 out of the way. Maybe back up this area is good. I don't know, but we've got plenty of people, so we can probably do, yeah, 2 concrete is probably fine. So we'll get production, we'll set up a couple of workshops somewhere. Let's see what the smallest I can set up here is. Something like this, and we'll do our new technique. So we'll get a divider like that and there. Now divider is still a hauling trail apparently. Then we need to get a, wait, let me go verify that actually works before I start creating it all in this style. Seems to be working. They're just chilling over here, and then they'll go back and do concrete. I think that's a much tighter loop. We can make a much more compact build this way. Not that space is a huge issue, but compact means faster as well. So like, for example, if I made this divider really small, and then we built our dispenser for our stockpile, like right here, then we get a hauling trail from here into the divider, and then they come out, say, like here. Like this. That's like a really compact loop now. Then we obviously need a stockpile. Cool. I think we're good. We just need 5 more fabric. Now we can definitely make more drone ants easily because we still haven't handled the death coming out of any of these. And now that the dudes in here are worker ants, we can very easily turn them into more drones and send them to the 2nd or 3rd island. What is going on over here? We've got way not enough stuff over here. Okay, that's fine. We can very easily divide this like that. Oops. Make workers a little bit faster. Not that we need more workers. We've got all the workers in all of our factories. One of my viewers also suggested something about my iron not working with divider gates. I don't understand that. Let's have a look at my system using the divider gate. They seem to be fine. Doesn't seem to be blocking each other. Oh, we've got 50 iron plates. We can really start doing stuff with iron on the floor now. Now we're getting a surplus of screws. We're using up all our iron blocks, which is fine. Iron blocks are we... Yeah, we're running out of this, so we need more ants on here. Wait, we're running out of this because we don't have enough of these ants coming out. Are these things life longer? No, they're equal. That means I need an even amount of ants dying off this trail coming out of here. So if I have, let's split this a little bit better. We only need 3 on this one, and then, oh, sure, we'll do 6 on that one. So if I need 3 and 6, or technically I need 3 and 4, 7 ants. So this trail needs to have 7 ants constantly dying out of it to sustain the next trail. I think that's how the math works out. Not too sure, but let's put this back to 7, because we do have some spare ants over here, and they will all go there. Fantastic. Look at our overview, all the ants bustling around. Now, how are we doing out of here? We're almost done here. We only need 3 more fabric, so we can figure out what ants go where. So after you do your glass, we need to maybe put a trash can. So I might move this stockpile somewhere, like onto this side where there's no glass. That way I can, oh, we got a report. Nothing interesting, right? We really got to start repurposing our worker ants better. But we can grab a trash can right next to it. That way it can dispose of this trash. Oh man, then they're just going to be mining stuff and then disposing of it. That's not good. This system is not great if you don't have infinite stuff. We've got to create a new system for this, because we only want the old ants to come out and then dispose of stuff and then go out. Because otherwise, all of these ants are just going to keep mining all this glass and then just throwing it in the bin, right? Okay, interesting. So it's not a big problem. What we can do is we can do an old gate like this. So it doesn't matter where we put the old gate anymore. Just a really, really short old gate. And then we can follow it immediately with a hauling trail section. And then we can put our trash can in the hauling area section. So we're learning stuff every little step of the way, guys. We put our little trash can here. That way only the old ants come over here and destroy stuff. Except this thing, is this thing telling me that they're going to be throwing stuff in the trash can from here? Is that what that arrow means? No. Alright. So the old ants are going to come out of here. Then they're going to go up to become digger ants. So we'll get an elder trail from this side, and they're going to go up and become digger ants. Fantastic. We've got so many drones doing stuff. We could probably set up some sort of fabric trail at some point in life. But there's nowhere, I don't see anywhere with like fabric that I can harvest. If I start harvesting stuff, say off this island, like the fiber in here, won't that cut down the energy pods that are there? What about stuff like here? I feel like the fiber route is going to start cutting down the trees that I need. Is there like a few trees over here I can test on? I've also done this incorrectly because, wait, no, digger ants do come from small ants. Okay, that's fine. Our glass is also full. We've got too much workers here, but that's a good problem to have, I suppose. Not many of my drones are bringing over a lava. That's one other problem. They're storing the lava, but not necessarily, we don't have like an excess of lava, which is fine, I suppose. I don't know how we can get an excess of lava. How can we tell it that this dispenser has priority, and hopefully when a drone comes out of here, it should definitely get lava? I don't know how to do that. There's also other optimizations we can do in our game. For example, we're still turning brand new worker ants, once they combine from small worker ants, directly into our next stage of ant. And that is a little bit wasteful, such as these inventor ants. People were suggesting, or somebody suggested, I should put these guys to work for 10 minutes, and then when they die, then they become that, which is good, which is a great suggestion, but I don't have any work for them to do on this island, except maybe harvest more flowers. But then, like, why I don't need more flowers. I don't need more energy pods. I suppose I could redo this trail to get even more food, because I still don't know how to get energy food number 2 over back to my old island. A bunch of questions. So anyway, this thing is finally done, so we can finally start getting small digger ants onto this island. Sometimes I have a method of doing things and it just seems silly, right? And in light of being silly, I find it probably easier to just wait a little bit, and if there's more technology coming, maybe then there's a way for me to do it better. Like, for example, instead of harvesting these energy pod 2 and then delivering it back there with drones, maybe there's a better way to do that. I don't know. Assemble small ant digger. Oh, what am I doing? That thing needs a screw. But we have screws. We have plenty of screws. Somewhere. Place the dispenser here. Oh, what have I done? A bit hard to scroll around. I wish there was like a shift scroll button. I can scroll faster. There we go. Now we're making little digger ants. And I hope we're getting new larvae coming out here, but we're not, which is a little bit annoying. Can I get a second queen in here so I can directly get larvae over? Well, our first digger ant has gone to work. This mine colony thing specifically requires the digger ants to mine glass and copper, but that's fine. So maybe we should get more food to the queen so that we get more ants. That way we have an excess in the hatchery. Because we've got just enough ants to sustain our colony, but it feels like we need a few more ants for them to send to the new colony so that we can get more non-drone ants. So given we have too many drones over here, maybe we can send the ants over here to do some work first, and then we can get them to do stuff. So I'm going to delete this path. Then we're going to set up an old gate over here, and it's going to come out, and we'll do our usual trash can setup. Because, yeah, we need it. So we'll do a hauling trail over here. We'll do a trash can over here. Oh, I really need copy and paste functionality. And then we can get an elder trail going into a combiner. We need a divider though. So we'll go 1 and 2. And then off you go into a combiner. Actually, we'll take this combiner because we don't actually need it anymore, right? Off you go. So that'll make new ants. Then we need to create a new foraging path over here. Like that. And then that can go over here. We'll get rid of this dispenser. And then we'll get these guys coming into this trail. Then you can grab into here. Right afterwards, we can get an old gate out of here. Do the trash can thing. Then we can get you guys to become drones instead. Get that, and that together. Drop off your stuff and go turn into a drone. Get a null path over there and get a hauling path over there so you can grab yourself a lava before we become a drone. Now I wanted to investigate how many trails we can feed the ant from, because at the moment you can very clearly see we're at the limit of 2 trails. Pretty much at the limit of 2 trails. We're not going to get to stage 10 doing this. So we should probably figure out how many points we can get into the queen's mouth. So let's redo this part. And let's redo this section to see if we can get maybe a 3rd trail in there. Because in lieu of the fact I don't know how to get rank 2 food into the queen, I don't really know how to do this. And once we do get rank 2 food, we might want to optimize some of these trails and stuff. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to move all of these things out of the way for a second. We're just going to delete this trail. We can always remake this trail, no problem. We might give ourselves a little bit of room. We get these ants out of the way first. Alright, our queen's not being fed. That's a big problem. So we need hauling trails that end at the queen. So we can do like 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. You can do up to like 5 trails here at the queen's mouth. Look at all these trails hit the queen's mouth. You can do 5. And then technically you could do 6. Then this is too far, right? No, it's not too far. 7, 8. You can do like 9 trails around the queen's mouth, really. Okay, that's completely overkill. Let's go for 4 trails. 4 trails. How do we do 4 trails? Oh, this is going to be really complex. All right. Let's do the end of the trail here. So let's do, say, 1 trail over here. Now we want these trails to be as tight as possible. So I'm going to get 1 food source over here. Oh man, in light of that, should we do this slightly differently? Let me think about this one. So we basically want 4 trails that are as tight as possible. So let's try to draw boxes. Ah, that uses that one. So we get rid of that. Once you're done, you go back. Like, that's a really tight trail, right? That can be one of our trails. So let's pick a food source from that trail. Now this food source is massive, so I'm gonna give this one by itself. So that can be this food source's trail, like that. and then it'll grab the food and then do a loop. And that's a pretty tight loop, right? There's like, well, it can be even tighter if we wanted to. We could get rid of this. And then we can do it like that. Literally one ant can be on this trail. Then we can do another one over here. So like that, and that. And then another food source. This one's tiny. And that one can be together, I guess. That one and that one. So these two. Not sure if this is going to work, so we're still experimenting. That looks like the arrow is in there. So we can get another ant onto this trail. Now we can do a third and fourth trail. So at the moment, we've got another one of these. They've both got nothing. And then we've got this one, which is one of these is being fed off the trail that feeds these guys, which is that trail. That trail probably needs more ants as well, but we can work on that in a bit. Let's assume that works. So I think over here is fine as well. So we'll give it a little bit of room. So we'll go like here, 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 and here. And then we'll do a similar trail on this side. Here, 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 and here. Now we can split this. Which ones should we do? We have these two that should be part of one trail. I'll bring those over. They can be fed off this trail. Let me just get this ant out of the way so I can put this somewhere better. Why can't I put it here? It doesn't like it there. I can do it there. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine too. So that's that trail. And I'll get the ants a little bit more out of the way. And then we'll do the final one over here. This one, I don't want it to be that one. We probably want just this one over here. So we'll get another dispenser over here. Although this, yeah. We'll just put this one over here, and that way we can reserve our food for our inventor ants. All right, we've got our 4 trails. Now we've got to put ants onto these trails. Pretty much 2 ants onto each trail, right? So then maybe we need counter gates. Let's move this thing out of the way. We need old gates and counter gates out of here. Oh man. So we need counter gates that send them in and old gates that take them out. Let's get the old gates in first. So we can get an old gate out like that. An old gate out like that. We can get an old gate out of here. Nope, doesn't like that. We can get an old gate out of here. And we can get an old gate out of here. Right after they feed their queen. Like that. Now we need to get a trash can in here just in case. Because I don't even know if that is working properly. Now we need our hauling trail to come out of these 4 gates over past the trash can. We'll go from here out. And then we'll get these all going into this hauling trail. Now we've got an old ant hauling trail over here. That should all chuck out their stuff. And now we can get the elder ants out. How do we get the ants in? Probably using counter gates so that we can control these trails a lot better. So we need 4. So it'll go like 1, 2, 3, 3, and 4. Now let's just start with, say, 2 ants on every single trail. Then we can now just send this trail up, and we can go, we only want, say, like 9 ants, 1 backup, ready to replenish whenever. Let's get that up there into each one of these gates. Then you can loop back. Now we got to get these gates into these gates. So from here into there, from here into there, not onto this trail. Okay, this is going to be a little bit messy. Into there. We'd like it to grab food immediately when they get in. All right, this is just going to be a bit messy. I was trying to do these gates clean, but let's just do them efficiently instead. So we'd like them to go straight in to get food. So that one goes there. This guy can go right here. This guy can go right here. Is that where the food's coming from? Oh no, this thing's now directed to grab a thing from here. We're gonna fix that. If I delete this one and make it a null trail, will that help? Yup, because here, no. A null trail from here to here, that'll help, because then you can drop the stuff as soon as it hits this hauling trail. Then we get another null trail going from here to in here where the food is. which is about here. And then our final one that comes out of here goes, where's the dispenser? Here, like there. All right, that's a really crazy complex looking trail. It's not very clean looking, but more importantly, does it work? Let's send all these ants back onto here. And let's test if that works. Yep, the counter gates are working. And they are dropping food off to the queen. What are you guys doing? The queen has an animation limit of what can be fed. Why aren't you feeding the queen? Oh no. That's feeding the queen now, and then these guys aren't. Oh, that's a real big problem. It's not really a problem. I mean, it's basically saying I'm feeding the queen as quickly as possible. So we really do need to implement rank 2 food. So there's like an animation limit on how fast the queen can be fed. And that was basically 2 gates. Because we can see that only 2 things are ever feeding the queen at a time. All right, that's unfortunate. And this is sending way too many ants up on this trail. Do I only need 1 ant on this trail? Because if there's 1 ant on this trail, that means all of these counter gates are full, right? Otherwise, they would have saturated off these counter trails. Because at the moment, I've got like 8 ants over here. So that's going to be a major issue. So we can't actually feed the queen any faster than we are. All right, that's fine. That's good to know. Let me just observe this to make sure. Yeah, I think 2 trails is like the max, or maybe 3, but that's just because there's a gap in this trail. And now they're getting old, and these old ants aren't getting going anymore. Anyway, let's just set this up again. Because otherwise I'm not getting any stuff going. And we'll just let this run for a little bit. I can't be bothered redoing this, so I'm gonna just get these guys to go over here. Because I might have to redo this again at this point. This is not very efficient. Even though we've got 4 trails now hitting the queen. I think 3 is probably a good number actually. But 4 is definitely no good. Because this old ant now is like just holding its food. Alright, cool. So we definitely need like rank 2 food at some point. Anyway, let's see how these guys are doing. Our digger ants are not digging the concrete. Oh my god. Didn't get that close enough to the rubble. I might have screwed up my system a little bit because it's like okay. It's not like horrible. It's not horrible. It's functional. It's just unnecessarily complex. We'll maybe get 2 ants in here ready to go to replenish this path as soon as ants die, or maybe like 4. 1 for each path. This is happening as fast as it possibly can. Our queen can't pop eggs any faster than this. I don't see any inefficiencies in this loop. Yeah, I think we just need to give our queen better energy, basically, is the thing here. All right, let's try setting up an energy orb 2 somewhere and see how that goes. Gotta just test things and get them working, right? Otherwise, we're never gonna learn anything. What are you doing, digger ant? Why aren't you going up there? There's no 3 ants here. Because I haven't set this to 3. Alright, we're getting some concrete. And we haven't set any ants to go up there. So let's get a new counter gate over here. We'll set that to 2. And we'll get a new null trail going up this way. Like that. Now we've still got some extra drones here. So we'll use these drones to grab the energy orbs, I guess. But then they're really far away. How's our drones up here doing? Do we have a surplus? We have no drones up here. Oh, they're all dead. That's fine. Were they doing anything critical? I don't think so. Where are all my old ants over here? Yo. This was the same path as before. Why am I not getting any old ants up here? I feel like I've made everything worse. Let's see how our digger ant system's going. It looks like we've got enough digger ants going out everywhere. We've got some spare digger ants, which is great. How's our digger ant pathing going? Fantastic. We could probably make this loop a little bit tighter if we wanted to, but it looks like we're getting a surplus of everything now. Blocks everything is good, and we've got plenty of iron plate and screws now after that fix. What is this thing doing? Ah, this is our facility because we don't have enough copper and glass. Alright, so I think we need to probably, for the rest of this episode, sort out our transport of stuff backwards and forwards. So let's continue to figure out how to get this loop back, because all our ants here are gone. And that's probably something to do with this. Right, let's fix this loop, because this is pretty unacceptable. I'm just going to fix it, and then I'll come back and talk about it. We might do 3 loops. I've just redone it with 2 tighter loops. I think 2 loops is actually more than enough. And that way we can get a big surplus of our old ants and stuff happening properly. And I've set this guy to 6 ants. I think 3 ants on each trail should get continual feeding going. Yeah, that looks pretty continual feeding to me. We've got our old gate set up. Oh man, our old gate might be not long enough. We'll see it. We'll see when this system settles. Hopefully that's a long enough buffer. I've just moved some stuff around over here as well. And that way we can get our continuous creation of these flying ants going. All right, fantastic. Everything is going okay. I think we're time to progress on a little bit further. Let's check on our digger ants now. We do have 3 digger ants all the time over here, so I'm pretty happy with that. I don't really care about the glass happening over here. Don't really give. This should be fine. So now it's time to maybe try to get some energy orbs back, I think is the next experiment for this episode. So let's see if we can't do that. We need to get to the dudes over here, because these are all old regular worker ants. So they're perfect for turning into more drones. So let's get another drone factory going. I mean, ideally we can take these guys and put them into here, and then when they get old, they go into the drone factory. But that's like too efficient at the moment. Too efficient. Let's just get the old drones out of all of these loops and into another one of these. So I'm gonna try to build some tiles, since we've got 1 billion tiles. So we want to start getting everything onto foundations one day. But since we've got 1 billion tiles, let's just do it over here. How's our fabric going now that we have so many drones? We've still got 1 billion fabric. Doesn't even look like it's going down, but maybe with this 3rd one it will start going down. So we're going to grab ourselves a assembler that faces this direction. And then we're going to take all the old ants out of these trails and put them in there. So let's get some old gates going. After you've dropped off your stuff into these piles, you probably want an old gate coming out of here. After you've dropped your stuff over to these piles, you probably want an old gate coming out of here. Then after you've dropped your stuff into these piles, you probably want an old gate coming out of here. These old gates can all link via Elder Trail. We'll just do something like that for now, because nothing is actually on grids. And then they can go into here and do something like that. Now, in case this is full, let's just get a hauling trail in here and a trash can. Just in case. We've got to sort out all the eventualities. We'll change that to make assembler drones. Then we can get our fabric dispenser to add another dispenser over here. Fantastic. Now we can make even more drones. The drones need to go off onto a landing pad, and we can get them to bring more materials to the other side if we want to, but I don't know what material yet. So we're going to set up our drone pad just without anything then. So we'll get some more flooring going. Then under transport, we can put ourselves a launch pad right here, maybe 1 tile away at least. And we'll put a hauling trail over here just in case we want to put something on there later. Let's go to the other island and figure out where we're going to put our landing pad. Now I want these guys to be harvesting energy orbs, and I think the biggest energy orb stack I found is here, but we want to bring the energy orbs back. So if we get them to fly here and back, it seems like a bit of a trek. So is there a closer set of energy orbs that we can get? Like this trail? That's like really close to our island, right? Let's test on this track first. So I'm going to get a foraging trail going. It's going to be a pretty long foraging trail. As short as possible though. These guys can do foraging, right? I'm not tripping out. Let's check. Yeah, they can do foraging. So then we want our landing pad somewhere over here. And we're not going to do things over here, but we can't afford the iron tiles, so we'll just do it off the regular grid. The foraging trail, we need a landing pad. We'll give it a little bit of room for the landing pad, just in case we need to do like gates and stuff later. So they're gonna arrive. At the moment, I'm just gonna send them straight into the foraging path, like this. And then if there's too many of these ants, then we might get them to do something else. Then they're gonna forage all these Energy Orb 2s. So then we're going to stockpile those Energy Orb 2s, like this. And then we're going to dispense them to a flight pad again, because we want them to then go back and fly back. But how will we distribute our ants accordingly to there? That's an interesting question. We're just gonna have to balance it, I guess. So essentially what we want to do is transport another launch pad over here somewhere. Yep, we can build launch pads. Let's link this launch pad and landing pad before we forget. So we'll assign that target over here. Then essentially what our system is going to do is we're going to get a hauling trail from, like, say here to here, and we're going to get this thing's dispenser over here. And then essentially every now and then we want to send an ant over here, but like, oh, and then what are you going to do when you re-arrive over here? You want to fly back. And how many ants do we do then? Oh, this is so complicated. So then we should do some sort of priority system, right? We should go counter gate, like over here, and say we want like 5 ants on this trail, right? So go and collect me energy orbs. Fine. Then after you pass here, then I want you to then go out to this trail and deliver the energy orbs back home. Man, this is such a complex system. Now we need a landing pad somewhere here to drop that off and then potentially go and fly again. So I guess this is where our stockpile is going to be. Inter-island logistics at the moment. Let's put some more stuff down. Iron floor tiles down. So essentially we need another landing pad somewhere over here, right? Then once you're done, we need to drop your thing off into a stockpile, and you can only, you are only accepting energy orb 2s. I don't have that at the moment, but that's fine. And then we're getting a hauling trail out of here to here, and then you're gonna go fly back to the other side. This is the weirdest system I've ever built. And then we can dispense that to our queen. I think that's an intermediate solution, or an interim solution, I should say. We will assign that target to this landing pad. Let's see how that works out for us. What are you hating? Connected stockpile is empty. Sure, that's fine. We've got plenty of everything. We've used up all our iron plates. That's also fine. All right, off you go. This old gate is fine. None of these ants are old. It's going to take a while for this system to saturate. How's our inventor ants doing? Our inventor ants are perfectly happy, and we're getting plenty of research points. How is these ants doing? I think we've got a fully saturated thing of these ants, and they are dropping off all the food, and we've eaten all the food apparently. That's fine. We've still got plenty of food. Our queen is still being continually fed. We are maintaining stage 9 perfectly fine. Why are we getting less ants hatching? Looks okay. All right, let's see if this system is working. Well, it's going to take a while to saturate because we don't have enough ants coming out of these trails to do stuff. How's this system working? Let's check on these guys. That's perfect, and there's no buffer at the moment. There's a bunch of old ants waiting to become these ants. That's fine. How's this buffer doing? We're okay. It looks like we've got plenty of ants over here. We can probably send a couple more ants onto this trail. We've got 7. Let's pump that to 8 because I can see there's flowers that aren't being collected on this trail. Probably my fault as well that I'm not picking up these flowers. And yeah, I think we're going all right. It'll take 10 minutes for this to saturate because we've got to wait for all the old ants to die. But that will give them renewed life and send them off into this trail. Let's see, we've got a couple of ants on this trail. We're now collecting energy orb 2s. And eventually when this saturates to 5, we should be all good. 2 seems to be perfectly fine at collecting everything because there's no more energy orbs on here. So I might just set this to 2. And then our next dude will come and deliver these energy orb 2s into our other factory. And here comes the next dude. Now remember, we can separate this functionality. So if we don't have enough drones out of this path, we can always send some of our drones from our other path to do this. So it's going to grab an energy orb 2 and then it's going to fly back. And it's going to take forever to do, but that's fine. And then we'll finally have our first energy orb 2. Once we get a decent stockpile of energy orb 2s over here, we can get that dispenser going over here as the priority food for our queen by putting the dispenser down here. There we go. We've got our first energy orb 2 in this world. Fantastic. So we're almost progressing to this. We need to start making these other things as well. Our digger ants are still going strong over here, making concrete. And we've got so much concrete. I assume that's concrete. What is happening over here? None of these guys are smelting concrete. What? What is happening? I've screwed this up. Hold on. Let's get rid of this. Let's get that over here because this is rubble. Delete that. This should be concrete only. These should be smelting concrete. How do you smelt concrete? Hold on. What have I done? This is concrete. Yes. This is a smelter. I've put in the wrong damn thing. I'm silly. But that's an easy fix. Delete these. Put a smelter in here. And a smelter in here. And get these smelting concrete. Oh, silly. That was an easy fix. We'll get the dispenser over here. There we go. And now they should be doing it properly. Let's just observe that system for a second. There you go. All good now. Fantastic. So we're getting concrete over here. We're getting fabric over here. Pretty soon we'll be able to make our first recycler. Our energy orb 2 does require some other stuff over here. We need the concrete to build a monument as well. But we also need this floral scanner. So we need to figure out what these things are. Let me just put this down. Maybe it'll tell me. Wire and light bulb. All right. Get rid of it. We need wires and light bulbs. So let's go over here. Copper becomes wire. And this becomes light bulb. So this is just created at a workshop. It just turns glass into light bulb. And this is also created at a workshop. So they're very, very basic and simple products. We can definitely set that up. But I think we've got our basics down this episode. We've done a lot of optimization, not a lot of progression. But I think that optimization is very important for us to do. We're getting energy orb 2s now, finally. And then we can feed that to our queen for some massive population growth soon. And next episode, we will set up our stuff to discover the 3rd island. And that is looking fantastic at the moment. We've got plenty of dudes over here and they're bringing stuff back and forth. Yeah, this is like as much energy orbs. We might have to move this process to this island, honestly, because that's not enough energy orbs to feed the queen, I don't think. These things spawn very, very slowly. But that's fine. We can move that process. This whole thing was just a test. But we'll leave that this episode. Maybe the bridge will help us in this regard, but we'll have to see. We'll leave it here this episode. If you don't want to miss out on what we're doing next, don't forget to leave a like and sub, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.